9,835 pounds of beautiful Wildcat 295 RSX just landed here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. This was very different from the Wildcats of today. We were a Wildcat dealer at the time this was built, and in point of fact, we sold this camper to its one and only previous owner. They just simply decided to swap up to something a little bit bigger and went with a Montana fifth wheel here at Haylett RV. But this has been barn kept. The skin gleams, the roof is great. It is fan-freaking-tastic, my friends. It's young enough to likely still qualify for same as new financing. And it's just kind of funny how things go back around. The guy who's our consignment manager, when he became a salesperson here at Haylett RV, this was the very first RV he ever sold. So in a way, it's kind of special to us. But someone's going to be very happy with what they get here. Real quick with the slides closed, as I've pointed out in quite a few of my videos, especially on new RVs, opposing slides plus islands means not a whole lot of access. However, the fella who designed this one, he had a brain about him, because if you notice, the big pantry here and this big refrigerator, you can still get to these with the slide closed. So you can get to a pretty good, decent chunk of kitchen storage if you want to get it packed up and ready. As long as you're intelligent about where you place things and think about that, you're good to go. And of course, bedroom and bathroom access, no problem. So we're gonna play a bit of a game. It's called Let's See How Much I Remember About This RV Back from when it was brand new. I'm pretty sure actually I still got a pretty good beat on it. So let's start right up top and work our way down. Lots of LED lighting, and this was really on the cusp of the nicer campers. The nicer fifth wheels started to have LED lights. The less expensive ones didn't. It wasn't really across the board yet like it is now. Now as we move down here, you see that nice residential ceiling fan pushing around a lot of air, and this is on the front edge of those fifth wheels that had those whisper ducted air conditioners, and that's what you have back here. It is significantly quieter and very nice when you crank the TV up there, well, so that you don't have to crank the TV up. Now I'm not using trick fisheye camera lenses. If somebody does that, they have to trick you into buying an RV. I'd rather just earn your business with honest information. But you can see you've got the big vaulted ceiling here. I like the vaulted ceilings for a couple reasons. One, it just looks awesome. It looks neat. It gives you extra headroom upstairs, but by having double vaulted trusses, it means that you have even insulation on the sidewall all the way through the entirety of the roof. If you have a flat inside and an arched outside, then you have less insulation along the sidewalls, and that can lead to sweat lines, which you're not going to see here. Those sweat lines are actually one of the reasons a lot of older fifth wheels have like crackly wallpaper at the top. Everyone's like, oh, it must have had a leak. No. It's condensation exchange. That's what it is. It's kind of cool, actually, looking at this, because at the time that this was built, Wildcat was the second best-selling fifth wheel in its class, and they were on the rise. They were really starting to tear it up, which is one of the reasons why we became a Wildcat dealer. They were very different from anything else that we had here at Haylett RV. They were compact, but very upscale. They were more expensive than almost anything else their size, but they were, like this, is loaded with equipment to the point that it's really still very current in almost any way. And then the guy who was the brainchild behind this generation of Wildcat with the golden nose cap, I call these the golden cats from the golden years, he went over to Jayco and designs now the Eagle fifth wheels. So he took with him the best of the best features that made this RV popular and rolled those into the Eagle fifth wheels from Jayco today. You're going to see a lot of those qualities come over. Like the accented slide walls, that's a Wildcat feature that found its way over to Jayco. Very funny how everything kind of transpired there. Now, along the rear wall here, let's start in this corner. They put absolutely maximum size windows beside these sofas for light, for visibility, for airflow. So even though there are larger fifth wheels out there, this feels anything but small when you look around. You've got awesome visibility. Now, hopefully, you're parked a little further away from the neighbor than we are parked next to this used pop-up camper that we have here, but hey, say la vie. I think you get the idea. Now, we've got a full, like 8-foot wide sofa on the back here, and this was made during the time where we still had a lot of airbed hide-a-beds. That being said, this is the first time I've ever seen an airbed hide-a-bed come in on trade. that the mattress had literally never, ever been used, and it's still in place under the master bed where we left it. There's actually a couple things in here the previous owners just never used. They had no interest in guests. They were purist couples campers. And one of the neat things about this, you actually maintain a storage drawer below these air hide-a-beds, which is one of the reasons the manufacturers really went to them in the first place. Now, entertainment. Over here, we're going to start down, work our way up. Electric space heating fireplace with this really cool little shelf that comes out, and you're thinking, well, what am I going to do with that? I'll tell you exactly what you're going to do with that. You're going to turn this into something of a home away from home office. So this RV comes with what I call the 2+2 freestanding table. It's got 2 full-time chairs and 2 decor matching fold-away chairs. You take one of those little handy floating chairs, you pop that over here, and suddenly you can imagine yourself doing some work on like a laptop or a computer or anything. Now what's also cool is because it's right in front of the screen and there's enough room to do it, you could actually have even a desktop computer tower here plugged into that screen and mouse and keyboard. There you go. Suddenly we've got a true home away from home office. If you're looking for a very nice work camper, ladies and gentlemen, you may have found it right here. That's one of those more interesting qualities about this one that I just don't really see replicated throughout most of the industry. Now, opposite of that entertainment center, you've got a direct-facing, wall-hugging theater recliner over here, and you can see that if you're not going to be sleeping on the hide-a-bed, you could very easily crash on this thing. If it's a rainy afternoon, you're just taking a quick nap. If you're like me, sometimes I fall asleep in front of the TV before I finally zombie stumble my way up to bed. This is perfect. Now, there's a neat little side stand over here that if you didn't know it wasn't factory work, you probably would never know that. The previous owner put that in just to have a nice little place to maybe set a drink or something like that. We do have pleated nightshades all the way around. Over here, we've got what I like to call well, not quite a dining desk, not a dinofa, as my friend Greg in Michigan would say, but a couple's dining arrangement with an extension leaf, and we already saw one of those fold-away guest chairs. Now, you could easily hide them under the bed. What's kind of funny is the one that I just used for demonstration was the exact same chair that I originally used for demonstration when I first put the video together on this RV back when it was brand new. The other one is still shrink wrapped. The folks never use them. And look at the care they put into this. Normally I would take things like this off because it's not as pretty and you want things to look good. When you're a guy like me, you want things to look good so that people are inclined to pick up the phone and call you, but look at the care that these folks put into this thing. They strapped everything down exactly like it was from the factory for travel purposes. It's just awesome. Let's see here. I think we're good over there. I do like the taller slide outs. That was another thing. This was, when these guys first came out with like this generation, the Golden Eagle generation as I call it, they were very different from a lot of things on the market, especially anything else at Forest River. Wildcat was a total standout product. That's why we liked it. Now, I've mentioned how we were a Wildcat dealer a few times. I want to clear the air on something. What I'm not implying is that we got rid of them because there were quality issues or anything like that. I don't think there's anything wrong with Wildcat fifth wheels today. Even though we're not a dealer of them now, that's not what I'm saying whatsoever. Every RV that we carry here at Haylett RV has a purpose, and this had a very standout purpose. Like I said, there was nothing else really like this. But what Wildcat later decided to do, after this generation brand manager moved to Jayco with the Eagles, is they decided to become a little more scaled down and mainstream and simple in their amenities. We already had other fifth wheels that did things like that, so we didn't need two of the same thing. That's the only reason they're not here with us today. From a service record standpoint, these guys always did the job very well. One thing I think I did forget to talk about as we were walking through is that exaggerated toe kick under the island. So if you want to, you can really belly up to that. But that's really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to everything that you'll find in the kitchen of this one. And this has a very nice kitchen about it. There is a lot of storage capacity here, but it all tucks away so nicely behind those raised panel hardwood doors. I like looking over here and noticing that there are a lot of brands that will throw a little bit of carpeting in the floor of a slide out in the kitchen like this because it's easier for production purposes. Like the laminate flooring with the little trim edge on there, that is a little bit harder for factories to do. It takes a little more time, it costs a little more money, but that is something that the people behind this camper, when it was designed originally, they understood. They understand you don't want carpet in your kitchen. Now you've got this big pantry built right into the slide out here, and these are all adjustable shelves. So if you do want more, less storage, whatever you need, you're going to have it. Now, one thing I don't think I pointed out sooner, you've got all hardwood fascia here. This is a very nice upscale coach. And like I kind of mentioned previously, this Wildcat, the older Wildcats were actually more upscale than the current generation. So if you look up here, you can actually see all the original owner's manuals and everything, even the box and the instruction manual for the backup camera that's on the back of this thing that we haven't even gotten to yet. All the cabinetry is hidden hinge. The countertops are solid surface. And I love how there is prep space on both sides of that oven with a real tile backsplash, not a liar liar pants on fire wallpaper. Now there's things you can see and things that you can't easily see here. You've got power outlets over here, but you also have a power outlet up there in that corner. So you do have two double-sided like appliance stations. Now you can see how this little chunk of countertop is kind of kicked here in a little funny way. This is just a classic Wildcat thing from years past that basically you could remove the shelves down here, and I think the previous owners actually added those. I don't believe those are factory. They're not quite finished like everything, but dang it, you got to look close. Like I'm even questioning that when I say it. Anyway. Point is, you could put a wastebasket down there, and it was nice just to be able to swipe stuff off the countertop down into the wastebasket right here. Now, there is nothing wasted in these. This was built before they had a lot of the recessed stove tops, so that's just one of those things that has changed over time, and it's amazing how quickly this stuff is changing. But they put maximum drawer space in here, and they were always kind of, one of the things that they did before a lot of brands is they had a full drawer below the stove, not just a door. Now, you've got a very interesting thing over here. You don't see it now, and you really didn't even see it when this is brand new. It was a pretty uncommon, virtually exclusive feature that you have this odd-shaped, odd-sized 9 cubic foot gas and electric refrigerator and freezer here. And it was a way that they could increase the total cold storage capacity on this without having to redesign the floor plan to go to a full 4-door fridge freezer. So it's a very interesting size thing, but it's also got a pretty darn good look to it. Now this is true Corian countertops. It's not just solid surface, it's true Corian. And if you look down here, you'll actually see that we've got a nicer stone cast sink. It's something that we see a lot of in our Freedom Express ultralight RVs today. It is a lot nicer material than a lot of plastic sinks. And again, you can see how a lot of the things that made this RV very cool in its time translated over. The best of these features all found their way into the new Eagle fifth wheels. Once again, the same guy, as the planner behind those. But the island here, it looks kind of symmetrical, but you realize that the sink is on one side and your prep space is on another. By doing that, they're actually going to give you more prep space here. And as long as we're talking about the island, take a quick look at this. Along with the twin power outlets on the face there, you have this swing open lower pantry, in addition to just full wide open cabinet storage space below. Like I said, all in all, this is an extremely well executed kitchen. So there's a couple neat things right here in the hallway as we head upstairs to the bedroom and bathroom. If you're going to be, having a guest or a grandkid, you've got just this handy little light switch down here just for the steps. It's very nice to be able to see going downstairs at night, or let a guest on the hide-a-bed or someone sleeping on that theater recliner sofa thing to be able to see to get upstairs to the bathroom. Now, the other thing that you have is just a dedicated hallway light. So once again, if you need to turn on just this light to get to the bathroom or the bedroom, or you can leave this on so that you're not leaving all of your lights on when you come back to the camper at night. It gets the job done pretty well. Now you've got an easy dual entry bathroom up here. You can see you can do it from the bedroom or the bathroom. And this is another one of those Eagle features you find today that actually had its start in the previous Golden Cat generation. And that is the blue LED bathroom light right here. And during the day, right now, it's terribly not impressive. It's not what it does for you during the day that matters. It's what it does for you at night that matters. It will make the ceiling, the walls, the whole shower, the toilet, everything will glow a nice bright blue. But it's a bright blue color, but it's not a bright blue light. It's very light in color, and you don't need a lot of light. You can get through here without blinding yourself. So, porcelain foot flush stool here, and they actually recess the shower plumbing into the floor so that you have a very tall ceiling in here. And again, this is one of those rooms where that vaulted ceiling is just doing an awesome job of giving us all kinds of headroom in here. I love it. Now, we do have that sliding door here for the master bedroom, and they did extend the slide as far as they could. You see that the closet slide out goes all the way up to the shower wall right here. I mean, literally to the shower enclosure to give you this dedicated linen storage in the shower. Now, as we back up, still nicer features, nicer fixtures. Like we got the stainless sink in here with more of that real tile backsplash and extra like toiletry storage down below where it's easy to get to. Great place for extra toilet paper in case you run out when you're, you know, sitting on the toilet. Moving forward, I think the bedrooms of these always were one of the best features because you walk in and it's like, whoa, it's big, it's different, you know? There just weren't things that looked and were shaped like this at the time this was built, and really, there still aren't. So they maintained that big, full, vaulted ceiling all the way up here through the bedroom area. And one thing I do want to point out, these were all 50 amp service. That was another cool thing in Wildcats. They were prepped for everything. Anything you really want to seem to do to this camper, like you want to add slide awnings, you want to add a second area, you want to add a bike rack, it's ready for all that stuff. It was always prepped for all that. But the vaulted ceiling up here all the way to that nose cap and that big sweeping radius front on this thing, holy crap, it just gives it such a massive big look and feel. Residential 80-inch long queen bed down here. It does easy lift for storage below, and that's where you can see the air mattress and that extra guest chair. And you see that step up around the bed? Of course you don't, because it's not there. These were built extra tall just to accommodate that. That was another one of those things that these were bigger, heavier, more expensive than other things built during their time. But they also had a lot of things that you were really looking for if you were being honest with yourself. Over here, we've got a large amount of storage space in the slide out. And you notice that window in the slide out. Usually when you get a closet slide, a lot of brands will sacrifice a window. Wildcat was one of the first to break that trend, and that's another one of those features that made its way into the more modern Eagle fifth wheel, specifically the Eagle HT series, where you find it all over the place. Directly across from the bed, you can add a TV if you want, though you're going to enjoy purchasing virgin wall panels here. Nobody seems to have done any modifications or screwing into this. And once again, if what you're looking for is headroom in the bedroom, I don't know how much more you want. I can't jump very high, but even if I could, I don't think I could hit the ceiling in this with my head if I tried. There are two little glitches that we'll cover as we go around, but basically, guys, other than a little bit of barn storage dust on this, there's really nothing to get your blood pressure worked up over. So, once again, the exterior look of this is the reason I call this the Golden Cat generation. You've got that automotive painted nose on the front, and if you notice, you can kind of see the W for Wildcat in that nose. That's something that they kind of lost. That was like one of those fun little hidden gems for anyone who knew it was there. It was just kind of like a little, I don't know, not a secret necessarily, but you get what I mean. Now, stuff like this, like having 4 entry steps instead of 3, that's where these guys started to really differentiate themselves. And it's a little bit of a windy day, so I can't really swing those cargo doors open and juggle them with one hand. So if we take a look in that big pass-through storage compartment, you can see that you've got the industrial rubberized flooring down there, TV hookups, and it's fully finished. You don't see any raw, exposed construction in there whatsoever. Man, these have such a good look to them. Now, the other thing is this is using a really high gloss sidewall, which is another one of those things that when they changed the Wildcat generations, when they scaled it down, you lost that. So there's still not a lot of fifth wheels in this class and category. They have the really high gloss walls like you see here. That was a very uncommon standout feature. Now there is no sign of weathering, fading, degradation, oxidation of the exterior here. It is fantastic, but keeping it stored out of the sun, well, that does quite a bit. This was one of the earlier generations of side mount solar prep before people really knew a lot of what it was, but these guys were ahead of the curve. And that's what that little Furrion plug is down there. It's got a simple little side mount portable solar panel plug to keep that battery topped off in there. Another thing I like that they did here is they had a big front storage compartment, very tall. And you may have noticed when we looked through that pass-through compartment that the, well, you know what? This side, I don't have quite the wind on this side. Hold on just a second. You can see the spare tire in here. It's never seen the light of day. The sticker and everything's still on it. Fully enclosed privatized docking station at a time where in this class and category that was not a common thing. It's far more common now, but again, these guys were one of the trendsetters that made that happen. Things like a bigger 10-gallon water heater. Still not common in this class and category. All LED tail and marker lights, another trendsetter feature. If we take a look below, you're going to see something very different from almost any fifth wheel other than Winnebago's on the road today, and that is a high-strength, low-alloy, HSLA is what that means, or is the short code for that, chassis. It's like an aircraft-style chassis, and if we look over here, you can actually see it's a drop frame. Now, what you didn't see on that chassis was a bunch of surface corrosion. It's just a better grade of steel. It has a harder time doing that. We've got the nicer aluminum wheels. We do have more Ride CRE 3000 suspension there, which is the same type of suspension you still see on luxury fifth wheels today. Again, this thing was a smaller, compact, feature-loaded, small luxury fifth wheel. And look at the gloss on this. It's not just a shiny Phylon. It's a serious high-gloss exterior. Now, this is one of those glitches. They bumped into something, or somebody bumped the skirting here or something, but that is on the skirt. That's not the sidewall. It's cosmetic only in nature. It's a bummer, but it's there. It's kind of like when you get a used car and there's always that one little ding on something, you know? The other thing is, I don't know if they bumped into a barn or what, but they bumped into something back here. Thankfully, they stopped very quickly. I have personally climbed up and down that ladder. It is still solid as all get out. There is nothing functional wrong with it. Again, it is an ugly cosmetic item, but we take little things like that into account when we price the campers here at Haylett RV. Now you can see that there's a full backup camera on the back of this. So if you're going down the road, you want to peek behind you or just get parked, you can do that. And it throws some people off, it used to anyway, how the bumper sticks out so far in the back. Remember how I said Wildcats were prepped for everything? If you wanted to add one of those cargo folding bike racks in the back, that was an available option from these guys that you could get from the factory. That was another one of those things that was just later kind of peeled off. You actually find those quite a bit on today's Cougar fifth wheels, like those that we have here at Haylett's, coincidentally. We've always had a good eye for product, I think. Anyway, what you might notice, though, as we come back here, is you can see there. It looks at first like there's a little bolt-on bracket on the back here, but then you start looking more closely and you see they actually did some reinforcing on this. So it should be good for some light duty towing, like a small boat or a small enclosed trailer. Be intelligent about this. And they actually wired some wiring to it so that you can run some taillights on a accompanying trailer. All the windows are going to open for ventilation. Like I kind of mentioned, inside you're going to get maximum airflow and ventilation on this. And the roof looks great. One of the best parts about this RV always being stored inside is that other than a little bit of dust needing to get knocked off of here, the roof membrane, the seals, everything, the skylights, they haven't been sun-baked, they haven't been fried. You know, I like my crackers baked and fried, I don't like my campers baked and fried, so this is something that I appreciate here. Like I said, it needs a little bit of a spring cleaning because they haven't used it recently, but all the original factory seals are still here. They're still very good, very viable. This is not something you're going to even have to expect routine maintenance to really start kicking in, other than just an annual sort of wash and conditioner. I mean, you could take this to a sun climb and be good for a couple years. I'm pretty happy with what I see here. Plus, obviously, fully walkable. Everything looks good. Yeah, this is solid up here. So, with that, give us a call. We do hitching, pieces, parts, trades, financing, truck and trailer package deals, RV deliveries, and everything in between. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.